Hey guys, Billy here. I'm a Gladiator Hunter, and this season I've been top 300 in 2v2 and top 200 in the RPG bracket. This video is about Hunter changes in 9.1, with my thoughts overall about Hunter and a detailed explanation of what talents might perform well versus what comps, and other insights like this. Hope you enjoyed the video and let me know if there are any other sort of videos you guys would like to see, or any other certain classes you'd want to see me play in 9.1. I've started playing Priest and I'm really enjoying it, so maybe I'll do some videos on that as well. And as always, you can subscribe for more Hunter content, and you can catch me live on Twitch at twitch.tv/Billybobbs, and you can join my Discord. I'll put the links to both of these in the description. I also recorded this video with the webcam on, so let me know if you like this or not. I'm not sure, so yeah, let me know. I hope you all enjoy the video. Just a quick little intro just before I start talking about the main part of the video. This is all subject to change as it's the PTR. It's quite close to release date, so I don't see many changes coming out now, but everything is, it can change. Depending on what Blizzard do, there could be balancing. Some stuff could just be removed. So yeah, take everything I say with a pinch of salt. But in this video, you'll hear my thoughts and opinions on all the new talents, against what they'd be good into, when they might not be good, and overall, just my thoughts on Hunter in 9.1. A quick TLDR. I feel Hunter will be very strong in 9.1, BM especially, Survival as well because it's getting buffed, MM I still think will be weak in Arena but strong in RBG. I'll add timestamps as well, so if you want to skip to a certain talent or a certain part of the video, feel free, and yeah, I hope you all enjoy. Okay, so the first talent I'll be going over is Chimaeral Sting. This is a 40-yard range on a 1-minute cooldown with an instant cast, and what it does is it will do a decent amount of damage to the target and then inflict 3 venoms, and each one lasts 3 seconds for a total of 9 seconds. The first one is Scorpion Venom, which reduces the movement speed of the player by 90%. The second is Spider Venom, which silences them, similar to Spider Sting currently. However, it's just a blanket silence. And then the third is Viper's Venom, which causes them to do 20% reduced damage and healing for the 3 seconds. So this talent is extremely good. Can be used versus healers or DPS, and I would imagine you'd take it for almost every matchup, if not every matchup. The Scorpion Venom also cannot be dispelled, or it can be dispelled, but it can't be removed by things that normally remove slows. For example, Shapeshift, Bladestorm, Vanish, Dispersion, and Freedom. So yeah, that is going to be really good because you can either use it to help trap, you can use it to kite, for example, kiting warriors. And then you can even use it on, for example, warlocks and priests, because you can silence them and then reduce their damage. So this talent overall has a lot of possibilities, and I think it's going to be probably the best talent that's been added to Hunter for this patch. So I'm very excited with learning how to play this, and also using which situations, because I'm not sure against which comps this will be extremely broken versus yet. Alright, so the next talent I'll go over is Wild Kingdom, and this is a 1-minute cooldown again, and it's you call in help from one of your dismissed pets for 10 seconds, and then your current pet is dismissed and heals for 30% of its max health. This can be used in mainly defensive situations. For example, if a Windwalker Fire Mage is combustioning your pet, because when they do this, and if they manage to kill it, then it can be extremely difficult for you to get the pet back because the Windwalker has a ring. So you have to either just triple CC, or you have to try and door away and camo res it, but this can be difficult. So this talent can be extremely useful, because when your pet is low, you can just press this, and then he goes away, and you get a new pet. This new pet lasts for 10 seconds, and then your old pet will come back with 30% more health. And by this time, most of the danger from the cooldowns will have gone, and you can just heal the noob or the pet that's returned. When you have a cunning pet out, you'll summon a tank pet, which will give you the damage bonus, or damage reduction, sorry. If you have a tenacity pet, you'll summon a cunning pet, so you'll get the freedom. And if you have a frosty pet, you will summon a cunning pet. And one other neat thing about this is that when you summon the new pet, you can use its unique ability. So for example now, if I press it, I will summon a tank pet, and then I can use the wall. And then I have 20% reduced damage for, I think it was 6 seconds. And then this pet goes away, my old pet returns, and then I have the freedom. So yeah, overall this talent, it'll be very good. It's going to be very nice for keeping your pet alive as well. And overall it gives you an extra wall. So yeah, overall pretty good talent. Very good into double DPS. Oh, and you can also use Intimidation and Ross while your pet is stunned, because you just summon a new pet, and that new pet won't be stunned. So you just summon that new pet, and then you can either Ross with it, or you can use Intimidation, and then your old pet will come back after the 10 seconds. So yeah, overall, fairly good. The one issue with it is that if your pet is dead, you cannot use this ability, but it should help you keep the pet alive, so I don't see it being that big of an issue. Okay, so next I will go over Tranquilizing Darts, and this is whenever you interrupt someone or you purge an effect with Tranquilizing shot, then you will release darts, reducing the duration of a beneficial magical effect by 4 seconds. The only issues with the talent is that the enemy has to be within 8 yards, so it's not always going to be useful. And I think mainly this would be useful versus Resto Druids. And even then, I feel like there might be better talents to play. For example, Kindred Beasts or Royal Sacrifice. So this talent might be good. However, I'm not sure how good it's going to be. It could be very good on paper versus Resto Druid, but yeah, we'll have to see how this one plays out. But overall, not awful, but not great. Alright, so now I will talk about Kindred Beasts. This is, again, BM only talent. And what it does is it will reduce command pet's unique ability by 50%, and they'll also gain additional effects. For example, the Ferocity pet, the Primal Rage increases the haste by 12% for 20 seconds, but you no longer get the exhaustion debuff. So that means you have a 12% haste boost for your entire group every 3 minutes. Overall, this is pretty good, but one issue is that Leech is pretty shit for BM because pet damage doesn't give you any Leech. So the only damage is from you, and as a BM, you're pretty reliant on the pets. So yeah, it's not bad, but as Bismex wrote, he said it could be very strong in RBGs, and I agree with this, because you can dismiss the pet. So for example, for the first team fight, you could summon the pet, give everyone in your group a mini Bloodlust, then dismiss the pet, and go back to having, say, a Freedom pet or a Tank pet. So in RBGs, extremely strong. In arenas, for at least for Ferocity pets, we'll have to see how that plays out. But overall, it might not be insane. For Tank pets, it will give you Survival of the Fittest on a 1.5 minute cooldown. And this is good, but it's not insane. Like 20% for 6 seconds. It's not great, but it's not bad. 1.5 minute cooldown for it is slightly too long, though. And the special ability, it will give an AoE reduction of 10% to people within 8 yards. So unless you're playing with other melees, this probably isn't very good, honestly. Because 10% isn't much for a 90-second cooldown. And then finally, for Cunning, you get Master's Call, and this makes Freedom 23-second cooldown, and it's also AoE. This can be very good. The AoE is 8 yards, but yeah, this could be good. For example, if everyone's mass rooted, AoE Freedom, everyone's fine. Mass Novad, then yeah, I mean, it could be good. It has its uses. So against Mage and Druid, I feel like this could be very good. But the AoE part's not the most important. The most important is just having Freedom on 23 seconds. This will allow you to have much better uptime, and you should always be able to use Sacrifice. Kindred is also currently reducing the cooldown of abilities such as Dash. So this basically means you can have Dash up permanently. It'll still be extremely good because you can just move your pet away, and it's going to be really quite difficult for people to keep up with it, especially if you've got, say, Freedom. So you can Freedom the pet, and then it can move for 4 seconds. So yeah, this is going to be extremely strong if it stays like this, and it should mean that your pet dies a lot less than it did in Season 1. I'll also briefly just mention the new talent which Marksman is getting, and that is Consecutive Concussion. And this makes concussive shot slow the target by an additional 20%, and using steady shot 3 times in a row causes them to be stunned for 4 seconds. This talent seems like it could be good, but in reality I don't think it's going to be useful at all. The only use for it is going to be that the slow is going to be 70%, and that will be useful. But for the stun to actually apply, you have to do it on the same concussive shot. And most people can just remove the slow. So yeah, it's not going to be that useful. I'm not sure if the stun actually DRs with other things, but it could also fuck up DRs if you do that. You're also not going to really be casting 3 steady shots in a row, because then you'd most likely be focus capped. I guess this could be useful on maybe in RBGs, but yeah, I don't see a use for this aside from the actual increase of the slow. So now I will talk about stuff that isn't new, but it's slightly different to how it was in 9.0. So for example, for BM, the Beast from Within has changed, and it will now increase your pet's attack speed by 10%, and all allied pets within 8 yards. So I'm assuming this will also work for, say, Zuen and any of your teammates' pets, as long as they're within 8 yards. And it also provides immunity to fear and horror effects. This talent will still be extremely good. The attack speed isn't like groundbreaking, but it's not bad. But it's still going to be, you're not going to use it for damage, you're going to use it for the immunities. So for example, versus Shadowplay, this will be very good, which is Shadow Priest Warlock Healer. And in 2s versus, say, Warlock Healer, it will be good, or Shadow Priest Healer, or basically anything that can fear you. The talent Hunting Pack has also been changed, as Aspect of the Cheetah now has a 50% reduced cooldown, as it is in the current game, but it also grants its entire effects to allies within 15 yards. This is much better than the previous version, where it would only increase their movement speed by 90% for 3 seconds, and it will now increase their movement speed by 90% for 5 seconds, and it will give them 30% increased movement speed for 9 additional seconds. So overall, this talent is extremely good, especially if you need to kite something, for example, a warrior. So yeah, this can be very good for kiting comps that can connect you easily, and overall if you're just going to be running the entire game. So for example, versus warriors, maybe demon hunters and stuff like that. The last change talent is Raw Sacrifice now being a 30-second cooldown instead of being a minute. However, it is only 30 seconds when you're running the PvP talent Kindred Beasts, and when you're not, it goes back to being the minute that it is on live. If this is intended, which I'm not sure if it is, then it would be insane. This is because you can prevent a lot more goes with the sack, as you'll have it twice as often. And yeah, overall, if this is intended and in the game, then this is going to be a very good pairing for both of them, as they would synchronize extremely well together. And you'd pretty much run this almost every game. So your default would probably be this, not Tranquilizing Darts, sorry, would be with the Chimaeral Sting. This would probably be your default if it is intended. There is one more thing that I forgot to mention, and that was Covenant Choice and Legendary for 9.1 for Hunter. This is, I will show you now, the Vente Legendary, and that is called Pouch of Razor Fragments. And bonus kill shots from Flayed Shot cause 6 targets within 8 yards to bleed for 35% of the damage. I don't imagine this will be very good, to be honest. It will be good in PvE, but in PvE, I believe you're going to play Nightfire anyway, so it's not going to be that good. In RBG, this could be really good. However, overall, I think Craven will still be the best, as 15-second feign death, removing most effects, is insane. It is incredibly good. I don't see anything being better than Craven, unless they change something. As for Soulbinds, Najda is seeming very strong, mainly because of this last ability, which is when Euphoria ends, you gain 10 seconds of either 20% crit or verse, so that will most likely be verse, sorry. 20% is 20% extra damage for 10 seconds, which is insanely good, especially if you get, say, a kill shot proc within this time, then it's great. You also have a lot of post-knee conduits, so the one to increase barb shots damage, the one to increase damage when you beast your wrath, and these two link hand in hand pretty much. And then you've also got the one to increase the chance of getting the extra damage from the kill shots, as well as making them proc more often. You could also run Draven, as this will be very good for defensive capabilities, especially if you're with a Resto Druid, because regenerative stone skin is really good, because overhealing Resto Druids will do a lot of it, especially if you're kiting well. So if you can kite well and you'll have a lot of overhealing, that means even if they connect to you, you're still going to be healing quite a lot because of the hots and the overhealing. So yeah, overall, Najda's probably slightly better, but if you find that you're taking a lot of damage and you're off on the target and you die a lot, Draven might be a good call. Finally, there is something called Empowered Conduits, and these Empowered Conduits basically buff the conduits which you have in currently. For example, if you have the first row of conduits enhanced, so say here I've got a Potency Conduit, Empowered Release, where Flare Shot has an additional 7% chance to proc Flayer's Mark, and it will increase the damage of your next kill shot by 7% as well. If this was enhanced, it might be 10%, but I don't really know exactly how these will work yet. So I will make a video later on in the tier when I know more about how they will work, as I don't want to tell you guys wrong information. It's also, you don't get them straight away. The first one you get, at least with Vente, is at renown 61, and that is where Theater's first row of conduits will be enhanced. And I don't really see people running Theater, so the important ones which you will need will probably be at 62 and 63, which will be Draven and Najda. And this might also influence which Soulbind will be the best to pick. That's everything for this video. I hope you all enjoyed and that you found it helpful. I'm sorry it's a bit late. I've been extremely busy recently, but I thought it'd be better to release it late than never. And again, a big thanks to Bismex for doing a lot of Hunter research. If you have any questions, just feel free to write in the comments, or join my Discord and PM me, or write in the general chat. Hope you all have a great day. Peace out.